Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This week we're discussing how to deal with jet lag. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, you're watching The Trip. This is The Trip, episode 32 for the week of September 23rd, 2015. The Trip is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation, whether it be theme parks on the West Coast, East Coast, or on the seas. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's show. I'm Jenny Lynn.
And I am Tess Eccles.
Woo!
I love it.
Teresa.
And back in the Nook is our producer. What's his name? He's a new guy.
That new guy, Craig Williams.
Craig Williams.
Hello.
Okay.
Wow, that came out and that was a little embarrassing. Hi, thanks for having me. It's not my first time on the show, but it is my first time on camera on the show.
True.
So.
And we're going to take advantage of that. I will be.
How so?
I will be talking to you
Oh,
and
okay.
expecting responses.
I can do that. But
Okay.
yeah, watch your phrasing on that.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, no. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. This is all about jet lag. You guys have, I'm sure, those of you that travel, we all deal with it. You go on these trips.
Wait,
you come
I got
back.
an issue.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's have the issue.
Where's my issue music? Did you forget?
No, I didn't forget, but I was going to give a little bit of a intro before.
Forget that.
the
I got an issue.
We'll get right to the issue.
Get to my
I will
issue.
give the intro afterwards.
I have many issues, but my main issue is, and I want to ask y'all's question. We travel, and we have luggage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Do you ever loan your luggage to other people?
No. I don't believe I ever have.
What do you mean like that? Because obviously I've exchanged luggage with my family members that I no longer live with, like my sister or my parents, but like best friends, no.
Okay. Kelvin, my dear husband of 27 years,
Loving
went on a
husband,
trip and
yes.
took my favorite suitcase, and it's really ticking me off. Is that wrong?
You can't part with your suitcase?
No, because it'll come back and there'll be something wrong with it.
Oh, it'll be damaged? Or...
There'll be a damage, or there'll be an odor that I can't identify, or something funky will have happened to my luggage. And I know this for a fact. And he took it anyway, and it's really ticking me off. And it just got me thinking, do other people, are they as protective of their luggage? I was willing to part with other pieces of my luggage, but the one he took was my newest one. I didn't want him to take it. And I will say in his defense, his luggage that he usually uses, I loaned out to someone else.
And there's no one to blame but yourself.
But I'm not loaning my luggage out. And I've had a rough week. I'm having to take care of his crap while he's gone.
All of his plants and...
The plants. Fire ants got me this morning. And a lizard was on my shirt when I walked back in the house.
No. Lizards are the worst.
It was one of them big ones with the little waddle thing like I've got, only bright orange.
Oh, I can't. How did you survive that?
Yeah, and a toad dropped on my head.
What?
It's like a jungle. I'm screaming in the backyard. And, okay, so I'm like watering things, and I was going to say something else, but watering stuff. And when the toad dropped on my head,
it just
I
fell
turned
out
the hose.
Of the sky?
It fell, well, there's a shelter where all his plants are. Oh. Okay? It's like with a shade cloth.
Does this stuff happen to him when he's watering the plants?
No, but here's the dealio. So...
The dealio?
The dealio. I've got the hose in my hand, and when the lizard dropped, the hose went incorrectly and flooded the back porch because I shot it through the screen. So the back porch is flooded with water now. So, and the quail will probably die before the week's over. But
you have a quail?
We have 2 little tiny quail in the backyard.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is really dramatic.
So he can never go on a trip again.
I would not have survived the lizard, and you had a toad episode and...
A lizard and fire ants.
Fire ants
Day
and
2.
And
I got
quails.
4 more days to go.
Are you going to make it?
No, I don't think I'm going to make it. Or his plants won't make it. Or I'll have to pay Grace to do it. Oh, I could pay Grace to do it.
Yeah, let the toads fall on her head.
Okay.
Back to the luggage thing. I
Thank you.
never
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have never loaned my luggage while I still currently use it as my luggage. Now I have passed on luggage when I'm done with it. Like I will give it to my children when I don't use it anymore, but
I've done that
I
before
don't share
too.
it.
I don't usually share. I don't share well.
I've never thought of sharing luggage. What about Craig? You don't share what you currently have, right? What you currently use?
Yeah,
and
whenever.
Kylie, are you interchangeable?
What's that?
You and Kylie, are you interchangeable with your luggage?
Kind of. So for me personally, like I have my main piece of luggage is a hard case suitcase that I put stickers on from everywhere I go. So I would never loan that one out to anyone because that's mine. And then my next best piece of luggage is an expensive bag. So then I probably wouldn't loan that out either. But I would give it to Kylie if we were going on the same trip together.
Where you could keep your eye on it?
Yeah, exactly. But for the most part, I, as much as I'm okay borrowing other people's stuff, I do not like to return the favor.
See, I'm kind of that way too. I've had luggage returned missing a wheel with a slash in the side, reeking of odors. And I know it's going to come back from Georgia, probably
I
full of
don't know why
plants
this
and
has
dirt.
never occurred to me, but I guess people are possessive of their luggage because I don't think that I would loan mine out. Hashtag travel problems. The faces in this room right now. You don't act like you've never done the hashtag.
Oh, I do. Oh,
sign.
you do it this way? I do it this way.
Whatever.
Okay.
Well,
Hey.
okay.
It's a different kind of show here, Craig.
I'm still stuck on Dealio. Like, there's no way to prove that you're a mom of teenagers than saying words like Dealio.
Do kids say that? Nobody says that.
No one says it anymore.
No, I do. Well, it was cool in my day.
He missed the episode where we started saying on fleek.
Yeah, and that's only eyebrows.
Somebody told me
We
that.
got to stop saying that.
No,
for
I'm
other
rebelling. I'm going to broaden the horizons of this phrase. Okay, anyway, back to luggage. So that is an issue.
It's an issue for me.
Are you going to be repeating this again? Or is this like you're squashing it right now? There's going to be new policies. There will be no sharing of luggage.
There'll be no sharing of the luggage. I got to get his luggage back first, though, when it comes back from Thailand.
That might help.
Wait, he's in Thailand right now?
No, his luggage is in Thailand with a friend. He's in Georgia.
Man, okay, luggage that travels the world. All right, anyway, speaking of traveling the world, one of the problems that happens when you do is jet lag.
Awesome segue there.
I know, I'm getting better at this
was awesome.
as we go along here. Okay, so jet lag, we all deal with it, as I tried to say before.
Sorry.
Either switching time zones or even just maybe not even switching time zones. Like we just got back from Boston this last weekend, and I still was dealing with
That was the flight time, I think, and the lack of sleep
Yes.
for that particular trip because I slept very little.
The exhaustion of traveling.
Yeah, it's
So
tiring.
it messes up your circadian rhythms.
Your
and-
world, whatever.
Wait, is that a word, circadian, or did you say biorhythm?
I don't say either.
I'm saying words that I don't know
good.
what they mean. Okay.
Vocabulary lesson.
I make up my own words all the time, so I can't really
That's
answer.
true. No judgment in this
Yeah.
room. Craig does not have a leg to stand on here. So anyway, we decided we should discuss what are some things that you can do to help with jet lag. Some things that we do, some things that we've read about, some things that you all have submitted and contributed to us. We thought we'd go ahead and share all of that. Probably the biggest thing was, and not only that I've done and read about, and that people that submitted their contributions here also agreed with, was don't go to sleep when you arrive at your destination until the time of the new area that you're in, even as hard as it is. Say your time zone has you go to sleep, 3 hours before where you're going to. Stay up and go and bite the bullet and get through it.
Wait it out.
Yep. Short nap if you have to, but not even too much of that because you don't want it to skew. You need to get used to the new time zone as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I really got my first experience with jet lag whenever I was in Central Europe this past year. I mean, going to California and stuff, we sometimes think like, oh gosh, we just added 3
it's a
extra
little bit
hours on
there.
our day. It's so tough. Whenever you take a red eye where you don't sleep all night and then you have to stay up the entire whole day, you can't even sit down and take a nap like that because you won't get back up. You just have to push through it. So don't take the nap.
Luckily,
Don't
you're
do
not
that.
driving or anything.
Yeah, so that's what your strategy was, to just push through and adjust to the new time zone that you were in every single time you switched.
Oh yeah, and if you got to wake yourself up, drink lots of coffee, cold showers, do whatever you got to stay awake. Just never lay down. Stay up until it's bedtime.
Okay.
If I'm tired and I need to stay awake, you can't sit down. You just got to keep moving because, I've fallen asleep standing up, so it doesn't really matter. But I can fall asleep in a few minutes if you want me to. Okay.
The next one was actually the flip side, and this has been a way that it depends on the situation, but this is the one that I have done very successfully, and that was if the trip is short enough and you're going to a time zone and your schedule, it doesn't matter so much, just stick to your original time zone and function on that time frame.
It would be hard if you're on the other side of the world, though.
Well, again, it depends. But like, for example, when we traveled with the company for D23, went to California, there's a couple hour time difference there. And I just stayed on the East Coast time zone, which meant I went to bed a lot earlier, but I was still able to, get up at a decent hour to to function, to do what I needed to do. So, I missed out. I wasn't out, partying and socializing every night. I was in my bed sleeping, but it was just easier for me to function that way for the week that we were there. And then when I came home, it was a little bit easier for me to slip back into that.
I always have trouble coming back home. Going somewhere, I can power through the issues of not getting enough sleep or sleeping in the wrong time of day. But it's my traveling back home, and it doesn't matter if I'm going east or west, or if I'm going back in time or forward in time. When I get back home, I struggle getting back in the groove of where I'm supposed to be every time. It doesn't matter, every time.
Yeah. Well, I do know that when I stuck to the original time zone for that particular trip, that one was probably an easy transition for me. But normally it is a lot like what you're saying, where it's you get home and then it's all of a sudden you can't. It takes a while. You're disoriented.
Yeah. Keep the camera on JL. I'm going to get up and get a mint.
Oh. Hi, everybody. We are now stalling for time.
No, just keep talking. I'm right here.
All right. Well, the next thing was, and this might sound kind of basic, but it's actually really difficult to do when you are traveling, and that is to exercise and eat well. Obviously, if you can take as good care of yourself as possible, you're going to have more energy and be able to do the things, push through that you need to do. Again, the tricky part to that is when you're traveling, a lot of times that's the times where you just want to throw it all out the window. You don't want to stick to your exercising routine, and you don't want to stick to your regular way of eating when you're
you're
out and about.
traveling. You want to eat the unusual and good things that you wouldn't normally get at home.
Right.
So that's hard. That's very hard.
You have to be very disciplined to do that.
That doesn't mean you have to eat bad stuff constantly. I mean,
No, it does.
I'm very guilty of it. If it's in the South, even if I've been there a million times before, it's got to be lots of barbecue, chicken and waffles, just awful stuff for me. But in terms of working out, I actually, every time I try to go on vacation, I either walk more than I'm going to, or I try to get into gyms and bring that habit back home with me then. Because if you can start a habit on a trip, then once you come home, it's so much easier to fall back into it in your normal life. But I've been unsuccessful.
Wait,
so
that was
far.
my question. I was like, has that ever worked
You were
for
in
you,
a gym
Craig?
one time?
Oh, yeah. No, I've been in gyms a lot of times.
Working out?
No, just mostly, people watching.
Observing.
So, giving a lot of motivational advice to others.
Okay, that's what I thought. You scared me there for a minute.
Well, obviously some people do it. That's why they have these, fitness centers at pretty much every hotel that you go to now.
Yeah.
Jogging trails at a lot of places.
Here's a tip from Bob something Kowski. It's a long name.
Cool. Oh, wow. Kwiatkowski.
Kwiatkowski. Treadmill workout followed by a hot shower.
It's actually good advice. It kind of keeps you awake, gives you a little spurt of energy, and I'm sure that it helps them to push through. I mean, the people that are able to stick to these exercising schedules when they're traveling, kudos to them. Like, I really hope that I can be like you
see it
guys.
all the time on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Up at 4 a.m., getting the run in, and I'm going, wow.
I know. Again, kudos to them. I hope that I can start to be more like that. Okay, the next one is sort of along the same lines and sounds really simple, but super uber important. Stay hydrated.
Oh, yeah.
Just
water.
Yeah. If you're not drinking enough water without jet lag, you're gonna be tired anyway. That's just a natural biological thing. So especially if you're dealing with jet lag and you're not getting enough fluid, it's gonna hurt you. If you're able to keep hydrated, water, it is going to really work in your favor. And we had quite a few people that gave that very tip as well on Facebook when we went to talk to you guys about it. Heather Lee Lane Sylvia was one of them. Stay hydrated, she wrote, with 3 exclamation points. So it's an important thing to incorporate there, and so easy.
Yes, there's usually water everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, see, I struggle with that because I don't like buying bottled water, but at the same time, I don't like carrying around like a hydro flask or anything. So I always just end up getting dehydrated for it. But do you buy bottled water when you go places? Or
I buy bottled water. The minute before I get on the plane, I buy a bottle of water. Mm-hmm. And that, depending on how long the flight is, that bottle will be gone at the other end. Plus, I'll have a couple of cups of water on the plane too.
Yep. Yeah.
And when I get off the plane, that's first I run to the bathroom because now I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yes.
But after that, I probably drink more water when I'm traveling than I do at home.
Oh, that's good for you. Good for you. It becomes more of a struggle for me because I'm like Craig. I don't like buying the bottles of water. I do it, but I don't like doing it. Another thing is if you don't have access to bottled water and it's just tap water, I know sometimes I'm real picky about my water. I don't, there's certain waters you don't like how it tastes. I always get mine with lemon, and I know some people have issues with getting lemon in their water, but lemon actually helps the flavor a little bit. It also has all right, we're going to get a little bit biomedical here. It has an alkalizing effect on your body, which is very, very healthy for you and helps with energy, helps with detox, all of those things. So something as simple as squeezing a lemon wedge in your water could help. Also, aside from water, and this stuff really kind of tastes nasty unless you're accustomed to it. But when we went to California, again, for the 7 and 7 and then again for D23, I always get super dehydrated when I'm in California.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going.
It's just, I'm used to living in the humidity of Florida, and we go over to California and it's not humid at all. And it's like, I can feel the moisture being sucked out of my body into the air. It's just, I just feel like
dramatic.
It feels dramatic. I just feel like I'm drying up like a prune. And it's hard for me to drink enough water to stay hydrated. What I found while I was over there was the miracle of coconut water.
I knew you were going there.
I know, and I know you hate it.
I have friends the girl that works for me at the Welcome Center, Stania, it's a daily thing with her, coconut water, and I tried it.
It's nasty.
It's nasty. She loves it. It's nasty.
You can, as with pretty much everything, you can acquire a taste for it.
Can I substitute coconut cake?
I don't think it works the same way, Tess.
Because I can't stand coconut water. I'd just rather drink straight water. But I know it has lots of beneficial
There is stuff to it that I found when I was in California. Like I said, I was drinking bottled water, and I didn't seem to be able to take in enough to get to a point where I felt hydrated. The coconut water did it every time. And it's a little pricey, but if you're in a bind and you're needing to, do something kind of drastic, keep that in mind. Coconut water is the way to go, and it's becoming more mainstream. You'll find it in grocery stores now, or at those little stores in the airports, and
kiosks
because people are finding this to be helpful.
So other things, Daniel Fugo, eating or drinking cherries might help fight jet lag. Tart cherries contain melatonin, which then absorbed into the bloodstream influences your biological clock.
I did not know this.
I don't think I'm going to be, I don't know.
I love cherries.
Once again, cherry pie, that puts me to sleep. But I thought it was the cherries, but obviously maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just the sugar. I don't know.
I would go with sugar on that one since the cherries are probably cooked and processed.
Yeah, but how many cherries do you have to eat for it to actually make an impact on you?
don't know.
Like, do you have to
not
sit there
sure.
and eat a whole jar of cherries?
A
Because
jar? You want them
or-
fresh.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. Then you'd have to also, we'd need to figure
Cherry
out
pie filling.
what kind of cherries and what
I'd
form.
be under the table. Literally, after I eat a piece of cherry pie, I am passed out. If I have trouble sleeping, give me a piece of cherry pie and I'm down.
But how do you wake up the next morning?
I don't wake up.
Well,
I'm drugged.
that's a problem.
So I'd skip on the cherry thing, but I don't know.
I don't know,
But
that
if
may
you
be
like
something-
fresh cherries,
Should look into it. I'd never heard that one before. That's awesome. Do you have anything else there?
let's see. Don Carlson never gets jet lag. I don't know why he's telling us. I don't care. Let's see. Who else we got?
It's just bragging.
He's just bragging. Oh, I've got one on my phone. Hang on, Paige. Sent me a good one.
Holding
On. For jet lag, I usually sleep a lot the night before I leave, and I never seem to have a problem. Hawaii was the hardest to get used to, but sleeping a lot before the trip, using melatonin and lavender oil made it easier. I always try to take a day of rest after getting back from the trip, too. Yeah, I sleep all day the day I get back from a trip. But that's that's jet lag, right?
Right. I did read about this. So she's talking about before you go on a trip, start to ease your, adjust your schedule
Adjust your
in
schedule.
preparation.
Right.
So don't wait till you're on the trip. Do it at home, and that way, when you're traveling, it's not going to hit you as hard.
I think
Well-
it would be easy on short trips, but if you're traveling to the other side of the world like Craig did. Okay, so you left here what time?
I left Florida at like 2:00 in the afternoon, got to JFK, had to sit for a couple hours at JFK and then do the red eye, leave at 8:00. And then by the time we got into the Czech Republic, it was already 8 a.m. there.
So you lost time, obviously, because they were ahead of us, probably 8 hours.
Yeah, they're ahead of us
6 to 8 hours,
six.
probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
something around that.
So you lost time, but when you got there, were you tired?
Oh yeah, because I didn't sleep on the plane at all. So
Okay, so you left in the evening and flew all night.
yes, and
Wow.
yeah. So I mean, the whole point of it is, you're flying overnight, so that way, whenever you get there the next morning, you're well rested, ready to go. And
Can you sleep on a plane? I've seen you sleep on a plane.
I can sleep on a plane. However, my whole strategy for sleeping on the plane was wrong, especially for overseas flight. They give you dinner on the plane, and I was like, okay, I'm going to wait up for dinner, and I'm going to drink as much wine as possible, just really get everything
a good
moving
strategy, yeah.
to fall asleep. And the issue that I ran into then was after like 3 or 4 glasses of wine, and I started getting a little tipsy, and the meal still hadn't come there, and we were already an hour and a half into the flight. Then I was wide awake, and so I started putting on movies, and then we were sitting right next to the bathroom, so people were constantly coming past us.
Did
And
Kylie sleep?
oh yeah, she could sleep, and if it was the end of the world, but
But you didn't. You were awake all night.
yeah, I was awake except for maybe like an hour whenever I was able to close my eyes while everyone else was asleep and not using the bathroom too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they dim the lights. When you fly at night, the lights are always, suitable for sleeping. But I have trouble sleeping on a plane, even though I always fall asleep the minute the wheels go up. But it's never good sleep. It's always worrisome because I know I'm bothering the people around me with my sleep. I know it bothers them because I'm a loud sleeper.
Oh my goodness! You might be a loud sleeper, but I am a fidgety sleeper. So I mean, I do fall asleep on the plane, but I start to get concerned about doing that because I move and I do things in my sleep, and I won't be aware if I'm
With people you don't know?
No. I'm not gonna lay on somebody strangely, but
I've done that.
My legs are short. And so they can't, it's very rare that I will sit in a chair normally with my legs just, bent over the edge of the chair because they kind of dangle. They don't reach the ground, and that's uncomfortable. So I always tuck my legs up under me.
On a plane?
Sure.
How do you do that in that tiny little seat?
Well, I'm a tinier person.
Shut up.
Well, here's the thing.
Just call me fat.
No, what I'm saying is when I'm sleeping, I'm not aware, if my feet that are tucked up under me become less tucked up under me and then start to invade somebody else's space, or
laying across,
or if my elbows in their
somebody's lap,
or something weird. So and I do that. It's problems.
So I've got one that's out of left field, and I didn't bring it up to you before, but there are also apps that are available to help really get you to adjust better
Do tell.
with jet lag. The main one that I've heard of before, I even downloaded it and never got around to using it because I ended up not taking any trips where I needed it, but it's called Entrain, and it's developed by
Entrain?
Can you spell that, please?
Entrain.
Entrain.
And it was developed at the University of Michigan, and it's all, the app is kind of, it schedules out for you, like, not just with your normal pattern how already, but also like throws in this element of light and darkness. So to get used to dealing with jet lag, you might have to like go into a dark room for a while, and apparently that just starts to work with your body,
like
where
detox.
you get used to it. It's really nuts. Definitely, if it's a free app, so download it, look around at it, and start to play with it if
into
you're
a
doing
dark room
something.
with
Really,
an
an
app.
app for everything.
There
Yeah.
it is.
That's like on the one flight we took recently. I had an app, and I don't even remember the name of it, but they're hypnotizing you and I was trying to do it so I would sleep quieter on the plane, and because because I wake myself up on the plane,
Yeah.
and so anyway, it's when you're listening to it, it's so calming. And then I tried it again when we got to our destination, just to try to, to acclimate to where I was. I don't know. I think there's a thing about these apps. I think, some of them work. And this one sounds interesting.
That does. I would check that out.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. So.
The next thing we had, also very simple and pretty logical, but maybe a bit more tricky to do when you're on vacation, is to keep your bedtime routine. I mean, do you have things that you do before you go to bed every night when you're at home? Like, do you take a shower? You have a cup of tea? You read some emails?
Yeah,
or
it would be hard. I have to take the cat with me. But yeah, you want to stick to your basic routine.
If you can, you want to stick to your basic routine, whatever that means. Again, whether it's taking a shower, sipping your drink. A tip for that is no TV or laptop or cell phone about 20 minutes before you're going to bed. There's a scientific reason for it. It has to do with the type of light that's
all of
emitted
that shouldn't
from
even be
these
in the bedroom
screens.
to begin with.
Well, when you're on a trip, those things are going to be with you. But there's a certain light that's emitted from these devices that actually stimulates you and makes it harder for you to go to sleep. I do know that there is a filter that you can get, some type of blue light filter that you can get for your cell phone or for your laptop, so that this type of light doesn't affect you during those hours when you're trying to go to sleep. But I don't know a whole lot more about it.
This is the complete opposite for me, though. Like, if I am laying in bed and I turn off the TV saying, okay, I'm going to go to sleep, and if I read or anything, I can't fall asleep. And then
as soon with the TV on?
Yeah, as soon as I turn the TV back on, it doesn't matter if I'm watching something that like I'm really invested in or anything. I pass out immediately.
Pass out.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a TV on a timer, I guess then you can turn. But then if the TV goes off, does it wake you up?
No, once I'm asleep, I'm good. I don't need that stimulation to fall back asleep.
Keep him asleep.
Yeah.
I can't sleep with the digital alarm clock staring at me.
Yeah,
I always
with
have to
it,
turn it away from, even at home.
I agree.
I
With that
turn it
light
away
like
from me.
shining in your
I just
face
don't,
with
because
the time.
if I wake up, what happens is I wake up repeatedly during the night, whether I'm traveling or not, and I always I don't want to look at the clock because I know I've only been asleep for 10 minutes, or I only have 10 minutes left, and then I panic and try to get back to sleep for that extra 10 minutes. But George Gensler says, when I travel to Asia and Europe, because she's a world traveler, I make sure I arrive at night so I can go right to bed after traveling all day, and then I get up for a normal day, my first real day there. Domestically, if it's a long trip, I try to get on the local time as soon as possible. If it's a short trip, like a long weekend, then I stay as close to my own time zone schedule as possible. So that's good advice.
Yeah, that's a good strategy, I think.
That is a good strategy. Get there at night and then just go to bed. Whether it's your nighttime or not, just go to bed.
And make it work.
Leave the TV on if you have to, Craig.
Sometimes it is.
true?
I sometimes fall asleep or can fall asleep with the TV on, but it has to go off.
You're a stickler with turning the TV off.
Yes, because otherwise it'll wake me up in the middle of the night. Do you ever have this problem where it's like there's a shootout on the TV or some woman's crying because she's in the middle of childbirth, and then you're like, whoa, and you wake up all startled? And
that usually melds into my dreams. So I'm thinking, I'm dreaming this stuff and it's really on TV.
I will say that, though, that your dreams do have a lot of effect of what you just finished watching on TV or what is on in the background. Because if I leave it on, like, an action movie or something, it always inevitably results in, like, a murder dream. Not me murdering people, but me being murdered.
Yep. I had the most hideous Donald Trump dream because it was the last thing I saw before I went. But it was horrible. It was like a nightmare. It was like Donald Trump and Friday the 13th.
Well, you got a Donald Trump haircut or something?
Yeah, it was horrible.
You got to go into it now.
I know.
I won't.
Oh, this is the thing she decides to not share with us.
But the other night, because Calvin's out of town, I couldn't get to sleep. And I woke up, and there was a shadow on my bedroom wall. Well, I thought it was a shadow. And I thought it was someone outside my window. It looked like the shape of, it looked like Darth Vader.
Gosh.
It looked
How
like
did
Darth
you
Vader.
Sleep after that.
And I'm thinking, so I turned away because it didn't move. I said, well, it can't be Darth Vader because why would he be standing outside my window? And then I looked, like an hour later, I woke up and he was still standing there. And I'm thinking, what the heck is in my yard casting this shadow? Well, come to find out in the morning, it was clothing hanging in a doorway on that wall.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway,
I would have gotten no sleep at all.
But I can't. When I'm traveling, like if I'm going somewhere, the first night in the hotel, it has to be dark, and I'll get an enormous amount of sleep that night. Versus every other night within my trip, I'll probably get less sleep because of things we're doing.
That is actually a tip that's recommended by airline stewardesses that are jumping in between time zones all the time. My stepmom was an airline stewardess, and one of those things is keep it dark until you're ready to wake up. So close those curtains, those blackout drapes or whatever it is, even to the point where, you know how in the closets they have those hangers with the clips for like slacks. Take one of those puppies out and clip those curtains shut to close up the few little spaces in between the cracks where the light filters in. That will definitely help you stay asleep rather than, if you
can't see anything.
If you got windows open and that
sun's gonna come in.
Yeah, you're not gonna. It's
Or
gonna
any
be
kind of
really hard
daylight.
to stay asleep if you're needing to catch up on sleep.
Yeah, and if you really want to help with your jet lag and help stay asleep, also if you're going in a direction that's really going to make you lose some sleep and you're losing
drugs.
a lot. No drugs.
Okay.
Drugs. No, choose an actual good hotel if you really are concerned about it, because there's nothing worse than getting to a hotel and having awful jet lag, and then the beds are completely uncomfortable, and nothing's
People checking
working out.
in at weird times of day with someone they don't know. Yeah, you want a good hotel, right?
You know what, though? It's happened to me going to California before, where I show up and the hotel is absolutely awful, and you can't sleep. You don't want to sleep. You want to somehow seal the hole under the door of the room where the roaches can climb through, and they didn't. But
there would be no sleeping if I felt that roaches were going to be crawling into my room. Oh, okay. Going back to what you were saying about the TV, that's another thing that I guess it might fall under this category: sleep aids, things like white noise machines, earplugs, eye masks. In Craig's case, it would be the TV lulling him into his state of slumber. Do you use any of these things?
I don't. I usually have no trouble sleeping on a trip. I have trouble staying awake when I'm not like passing out at random times while sitting in a car or anything.
That would be me.
So you don't suffer from narcolepsy?
Maybe I do. But I don't use any of those aids. Now, my husband, he has a mask, and he does use earplugs.
Okay.
But his reason is because he sleeps during the day, because he works at night. But, let me show you the picture sometime of him and his mask. It's got, like, big bunny eyes and lashes on it. It's Stella's mask. But anyway, no, I don't use any of that. I do sometimes fall asleep listening to music on my phone, just oldies, something and that'll put me out pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue is getting through the trip without having total and complete exhaustion. Because by the end of the trip, and it doesn't matter if it's a 2-day trip or at 2 weeks, towards the end, I'm just whipped, and I don't want to. I just want to get home.
Yeah.
Sleep aids are kind of scary too, if you think about it. I mean, obviously not the masks; those are about the easiest ones. But with earplugs, I used to use them for studying in college, and if depending on your gaping ear size and all that, there's a chance that you could sleep through your alarms if you don't have some, and that scares me. Sleeping through alarm or using sleeping pills, and then
that scares the death out of me.
Don't waking up, and so it scares me to use any of those.
Yeah, because I'm scared I won't wake up.
I don't think I could use earplugs because I don't even like wearing earbuds for whatever reason. Putting things in my ears hurt. I don't know.
And then to sleep that way, it would be just kind of weird.
It hurts. Like at some point, my ears just start to feel sore.
But I'm with you, Craig. I don't want to use a sleeping pill because I have to have 3 or 4 alarms to wake me up anyway.
Yeah.
To work me, at 15-minute or 30-minute intervals.
I do
to
10.
kind of gradually bring
Do
you
you?
up.
With the final one being the time I really need to get up.
Exactly. And then, but if you don't set all those other ones, then you can't pre-wake yourself up for the actual wake-up
Oh, my
alarm.
God. We are the same person. Okay. I do have to have the pre-waking time. I mean, you've roomed with me. Have you heard? Mm-hmm. Do you hear the alarms going off?
I think I usually hear the first one that you don't get up to. And then at that point, I mentally shut down my brain and I don't hear the other ones.
Okay. No, I have to have multiple alarms to get me to the final. And it just really ticks Kelvin off because he wakes up 10 minutes before his alarm goes off. And then he's up and I'm going, wow, that's just stupid. Why would you get up before the alarm went off?
I don't set my alarms because I have you there to go, Jenny Lynn, get up right now.
So mean. I don't do that.
You just did it this last week.
No, I didn't.
I woke up like, oh, okay, we've got to go.
Well, we were supposed to leave in 15 minutes, and you were still sprawled out on the bed.
I know. I was
fully clothed from the night before.
Because I was so freaking tired. I knew I wasn't going to wake up, so I slept in my clothes. Anyway.
Okay.
That's a whole nother episode.
You got a question, Craig?
No, I'm just taking it all in.
It's the way we roll.
Yep.
So, no, I have to have all the alarms, especially when I'm traveling, because if I am tired from jet lag, I've got to have something to wake me up because I can't count on anybody else to do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be...
Because it's not going to be me.
No. It's not going to be anybody, so...
All right, you guys talked about not using sleep aids like stuff that, druggy stuff that makes you fall asleep. There are some natural supplements and such that help you fall asleep. One of them that's pretty well known, and I think somebody mentioned it before, is melatonin. Mm-hmm. There's not supposed to be any groggy side effects. If you take it after dark on the day of your travel and for the next few days, it should help you regulate that cycle as far as, getting to sleep and waking up and so on and so forth. I actually have used melatonin. And there are
in what form?
Pill. It's a tablet. You can take them in tablets, and there's different, dosages. You need to find out ahead of time what your dosage actually is, and that's different for different people. Some people need a very, very small dosage. Other people need more of a bigger dosage. And I'm not trying to give out medical advice here, people, so be responsible, with what we're saying. But
exactly. Start with the highest dose possible and then work your way down.
Add a little nightshade to help you sleep. Okay.
Actually, you start with the smallest because while you don't have... Yes, I understand you made a joke. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. Jeez.
Go ahead. We're listening.
Okay, so you start with a small dosage because while, I've never had groggy side effects from it, it does bring about some pretty wicked dreams sometimes. I mean, like
you're tripping?
Yeah, you have some really vivid,
where do you get
weird
this
dreams.
Stuff at?
You can get it anywhere.
Any grocery store, health store, grocery store, Whole Foods.
I'm looking right now, and you can get some at Target for 100 tablets, $6.
What's it say?
Depending
it's
on
for?
it, it's
Your body produces it naturally
Right.
to help you fall asleep.
So I have too much of that probably then in my body.
I don't know.
Because I just fall asleep all the time.
Maybe, I don't know. Obviously, you don't need melatonin if you're falling asleep all the time. But for people who their biorhythms are off, this is one way to help you kind of like go to sleep when you need to go to sleep. And it's natural. Your body makes it. It'll just help you adjust when it makes it. But it does. It brings about some really crazy dreams at first while your body's getting used to it. After you've used it for a little while, you don't have that effect anymore.
You need more and more to get your fix to go to sleep.
No, you just don't have bad dreams.
That's the way that most drugs work.
You just don't have bad dreams, but you can have some really crazy dreams. This might be why I had that weird dream last night. We went on this trip, and I actually didn't bring my supplement with me. When we came back, I restarted my bedtime thing, which has a little bit of
bedtime thing.
Yeah, I have certain supplements that I take.
Okay, your bedtime drugs. Okay.
Yeah, and the one that I do have does have melatonin in it. And then I had this crazy dream last night. It was weird. It was really, really weird. There was like purple pythons in the SUV I needed to escape this house that was collapsing down around me. It was pretty vivid. It was weird. So anyway, melatonin.
I had a dream like that once time, but I had taken something else. It wasn't.
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
It's definitely acid.
It was something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some little thing someone gave me. I put on my. Okay, never mind.
Anyway, maybe
Okay.
that was it. Maybe it was my body having to readjust to going
Listen
back
to
on
this.
melatonin.
Okay, Michelle Levine. This may be a bit difficult, but whenever breakfast time is in the location you're going to, fast for 18 hours before that. That puts your body onto the new time schedule because it will think that is your first meal is breakfast, and your biological clock will reset.
That's interesting.
18 hours.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But I could see how it would work. I guess it would depend on how badly you want to, adjust.
I feel like this one's mostly mental and not
really. Well,
18 hours. 18 hours without breakfast food? No, or 18 hours without any food.
She's talking about readjusting your metabolic timing, which has a lot to do with your sleep cycles. I haven't done any
That's a
research
lot.
on it, but
you couldn't get me off the plane if I hadn't eaten in 18 hours.
makes sense to me.
I'd be all shaky and
I get tired if I don't eat
Yeah.
after a certain period of time. I need the food to reinvigorate my body.
Right.
If you eat too much, then you go back to sleep, and it's dangerous.
18
But
hours. Wow, Michelle.
the faces.
she's
in this
crazy.
room.
I don't know how I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something that I do.
Oh,
And I kind of
aside from your drugs, go ahead.
Well, I mentioned this a second ago when we were talking. Once, and this is also recommended by airline stewardesses, once you are asleep, don't get up for any reason. So don't look at the clock. Don't investigate the noise you heard in the hallway. Actually, absolutely be disciplined to stay in your
What do
bed
you have
with
to
your
go
eyes
potty?
closed. There's some times where I won't even get up to go to the bathroom. It depends on how bad you have to go to the bathroom. But because once I get up, I'm up.
Oh no! See, I go right back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, then maybe that doesn't apply for you. But for me, like,
Special sleeping.
but
disease.
I think that's maybe that's why I tune out your 10 alarms. Like, I hear the first one, I kind of startle a little bit and go, nope, it's not my time to get up. It's her time to get up. And I go back to sleep and I don't hear the rest of it.
And do you know why it's my time to get up and not hers? Because she makes me get down in the bathroom first so she
true.
can sleep longer.
It's true. You're really great about that.
That's wrong.
In turn, I always give you the better sleeping situation. You always get the better bed.
What, do you test these beds before I get in there or what?
For example, when we're on the cruises, I will take the pull-out couchy
Well, that's
bed.
just a given.
Well,
You're not giving it to me. I'm taking it.
well, you get the better bed, and I get the later bathroom time.
Okay.
Well, in a hotel room, which bed do you prefer? Do you prefer the wall one
I
or
get
the
the
window
window.
one? Okay, I'm the same way. I like to be able to, even though I end up closing the curtains and stuff,
Yes.
I like the idea of knowing that if I slept with them open, then I could just sit out there and watch. And
That's exactly right. I get the window.
She gets first pick.
Well, do you want the window one?
No, it's fine. I get the later bathroom time. It's a good situation.
Good Lord.
All right.
Okay.
Next one, meditation or prayer for some people. This has a very calming effect and helps them settle down to get ready to go to sleep. And then Craig mentioned another tip that was given: alcohol, because that puts you right out. Correct? This is what your plan was.
What if it's the flip and you need to be awake? What if you get to your destination?
Well, then you wouldn't drink the alcohol at that time.
I know, but I'm just saying that is my issue. Is when I get to the destination, I don't have trouble sleeping. I have trouble staying awake, and on the other end of wherever the trip is. So
you gotta push through and stay hydrated and all those other things that we talked about for staying awake.
Okay.
For the people that have trouble falling asleep.
Sometimes a drink actually will, and I don't want to sound like an alcoholic with this, but sometimes a drink will help invigorate me and help keep me staying awake, especially if it's a work trip. Courtesy of Corey most of the time, pushing that along. But
I guess you have to know your own body and how you respond to certain things, because some things can be stimulants for one person, but then the opposte of that. I've got a
depressant.
Thank you. I've got word retrieval problems right now.
I know. Okay, so Stanya, my girl, is now in Thailand, and
with Kelvin's luggage.
With Kelvin's luggage and my flatty. Okay, so it takes her. She left on a Monday morning, and we talked about jet lag. She left on a Monday morning from Orlando and arrived in Bangkok on a Tuesday night. So she lost a day, and she was making it a 4.5 week trip because it takes her so long to acclimate to the other side of the world's time and all of that she has to take a couple days to just do nothing but just chill out in your resort or hotel or home or wherever you are, and just try to get on their time. But she said it takes her usually 2 full days to do that.
Yeah,
because it's such a long
I think
trip.
It would take me even longer. Craig, how long did it take you to adjust when you went to Bucharest?
I had Bucharest?
Whatever it was. Budapest.
I still didn't go there.
Where did you go?
I went to Prague first.
Bucharest.
The Czech Republic.
Bucharest.
Yeah.
I like Bucharest.
Good old
I
Czechs.
go there.
When you went to Yemen,
Yeah, Yemen? Yemen? Like Chandler Bing?
She went to the Yemen.
I'm going to Yemen. Actually, this is something that I know that Pete and John and Kevin all invest in, getting to their destinations overseas a couple days early, so that way they can just really take some time to get onto their own schedules. And I absolutely would have loved to have done the same, so that way that first day I could have really kicked it. But like for me, we didn't have an option. Our hotel we were staying at didn't have any availability the day before, so we had to come in the day that our trip was started, hit the ground running and moving. And honestly, after the first night, we crashed early on the first night, went to bed at like 9:00, which is not normal for us at all ever. But then again, on like ABD trips like that, you're waking up at 6:00 in the morning to get ready to go at 7 and hit the day running. So I adjusted after one day, but I would love to have more days to rest and relax anywhere. Whenever I go to California or whenever I travel up to Pennsylvania in the same time zone.
Right.
You need it.
Just give me an extra day to get on Pittsburgh time.
Pittsburgh time.
We have special time.
It's special time. It's Pittsburgh people. Yeah, go get a Primadian.
Well, do we have anybody else that said anything interesting?
Let's see. Barbara Rush, I always travel a little sleep deprived, and then my first night there or home, I'm tired enough to sleep hard, and that usually does the trick. So she's sleep deprived. This one's depriving herself of food. If you add those two together.
It's a lot of deprivation before you travel, and then you're good to go.
Well, usually before I travel, the night before, I don't sleep.
I don't either.
I'm usually last minute packing, trying to get if I'm not traveling with the family, try to get everything they need in order, try to get my house in order, because nothing worse than coming home to a nasty house. It's got to be in order when I leave. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Let's see. Annette Smith says, whenever I would travel to England, I would make myself stay up and go to sleep at a normal time there. No naps at all. And then go to bed by 10 p.m. or so in the current time zone. So she's
prepping before.
She's prepping before. Well. That seems like a common thing. People are you can't just jump into it. And so my last minute trip I've got planned for tomorrow to jet over to Paris, I'm SOL because I haven't prepped for it, right?
Yeah.
So
There's a few more things that, we've talked about adjusting your sleep pattern ahead of time. That was something that was also recommended. And then there's a few other little tiny tricks.
What's
I don't
that?
know if anybody ever does this. Lavender oil. I guess that's like an essential oil. And they
Well,
put a few drops on your pillow. It's a mild sedative. Just the aroma kind of relaxes you and puts you to bed.
Lavender mist. You can get a lavender mist and spray. It's supposed to be very restful. Or taking a bath in lavender bubbles, or that's always very restful.
And the other one, I have no experience
pronounce
with
that
this,
one.
whatever.
Pronounce it. Go ahead.
Because I'm doing so well with pronouncing my words today.
Go ahead.
Pycnogenol, Pycnogenol. It's a dietary supplement made from the extract of French pine tree bark. There was a study conducted in Italy, and the subjects that used it had substantially fewer symptoms of jet lag, including insomnia, fatigue, and mental slowness.
You shouldn't say peyote. What is that?
I have no experience with this whatsoever, but it was something that, I found as a recommended tip.
Well, I just went on their website, and Dr. Oz is endorsing it to help look younger, so it's gotta be good.
Age-defying effects, and you fight jet lag. People, this is the tip that we should have latched onto from the beginning.
You just made that up.
No, Dr. Oz is right on there. Here, look, I never like doing this, but here we go. It's Dr. Oz right there.
Here he is.
He's endorsing it.
Wow. It's going to make me look younger?
Guess what Teresa's packing for every trip we go on from now on.
Jet lag, insomnia, fatigue, and mental slowness.
And mental slowness.
Okay,
well,
I need this.
That's a symptom of jet lag.
It's going to improve my look and my mental slowness. That'll make my family happy. And fatigue. I'm on it.
Okay, the last one is actually a really good tip for me. Works every time.
Oh, what is it?
Get in the sun. Like if you're going somewhere that's sunny, spend the day in the sun, because then by the end of the day, being in the sun is going to have that natural effect on your body. You're going to go out like a lamp in the night. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone. It works for me all the time because the sun helps produce that melatonin in your skin, right? Am I right?
Yeah, no.
It's called age spots.
I totally am on board with that. Yeah, if you stay all day out in the sun, you're going to crash hard. But someone like me, it's just impossible because I'm pale and...
I'm telling you, I'll be like going to the... Yeah, I can't do that.
You don't have to be...
I avoid the sun. I'm the big hat person.
You don't have to be a crisp, potato by the end of the day.
Yeah, but if you're in the sun all day...
You just have to spend some time in the sun, and it'll help you your body to produce enough melatonin that you're ready to go by the end of the day.
Drink milk. It's the same thing. Craig.
Vitamin
D.
Milk and being in the sun are the exact same thing.
Get your vitamin.
I didn't realize that milk would give you skin cancer if you drink too much of it. So
I'd say I avoid the sun at all costs.
That's not true, though. Even when we were in Boston, we spent...
But I tried.
I
didn't.
Really good day.
Did you see me running for the shade and hitting cover like
I don't think that really matters.
Like a vampire? I mean, I was like
being outside. I don't think you have to be like not in the shade, but outside, sunny day.
Okay, I can be outside, but I just don't. I'm not in the sun because I'm like a giant.
All right. Well, you just stick with Pycnogenol, and we'll be good. I'll be in the sun. You bring Pycnogenol, and we've got this jet lag thing taken care of. No problems whatsoever.
Good Lord.
Did anybody else have anything to add here?
Craig, what do you think of your first day with us here?
I hope we can continue on bringing Dr. Oz into this show a little more. One of my personal heroes.
We could bring him on the show just in a little flatty. Like on a little stick.
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz says.
Please tell us about lavender oil
what
and
drugs should we use today?
By the way, whenever we did redo the studio, something happened with your happy and sad face spoons.
Oh my gosh.
The spatula people?
I don't know where they are. They're in a box somewhere, but that should have been in housekeeping at the front. We will find them and redeem them.
We have to find our spatula.
Well, I won't
people.
sleep tonight. There'll be no sleep.
There'll be no sleeping tonight until I find out what happened to the spatula people.
And their hair was so precarious on their face.
We need to fix their hair. They needed a makeover as well.
Well, Craig, thank you for telling us.
I mean, I hated to be the bearer of bad news in this situation, but eventually you're going to do another dining review, and
we need to go on the
be
hunt.
there.
No, we need to find them.
No, Craig, that's our producer.
We're sending out rescue search
We're sending out the
teams.
producer to find them. That's his job.
Okay. Well,
Paragraph 6, page 3.
oh, okay. I'll go read that again.
I think that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks for sticking through all of that craziness. We'll be back next week again with more craziness as we give you a dining room review with spatula people for Cafe 22 Tango. You're going to not want to miss that. So with that, we're going to say trip out.
Goodbye.